15 things you didn't know about the Cayman Islands. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome back to another amazing video. Today we're exploring the beautiful Cayman Islands, which sits between Cuba and Jamaica. The Cayman Islands are now a British overseas territory, but remained uninhabited until the 17th century. After that, it was often used by shipwrecked sailors, pirates, and those deserting Cromwell's army in nearby Jamaica. England took control after the Treaty of Madrid in 1670 and established a permanent English-speaking community. Now, the islands are known for being a tax-exempt destination. The government has never levied income tax or any other wealth tax, so it's a very popular destination for wealthy business people who want to maximize their income. Because alux.com is dedicated to becoming the world's best resource on the world's most beautiful and interesting destinations, here are 15 things you didn't know about the Cayman Islands. Number 1. Residents of Cayman have King George III to thank for their no-tax status. In 1794, a convoy of ships from England were wrecked on the island's rocks, but the permanent settlers rescued the crews. Apparently, there was a member of the British royal family on board who would have died, so King George III declared that the Cayman Islands residents would not be taxed in reward for their kindness. He also decreed that they wouldn't have to sign up for military service. Number 2. The first recorded inhabitant of the Cayman Islands was Isaac Bodden. The very first inhabitants on the island were rumored to be two men called Walters and Bodden. They were assumed to have come from Jamaica, where Oliver Cromwell's army was stationed, and they could have been deserters when they arrived on the shores of Cayman in 1658. The first person to be born on the island was Bodden's son, Isaac, but that begs the question, who was his mother? Number 3. Turtles first attracted settlers to the island. Christopher Columbus saw the Cayman Islands in 1503 and remarked on the number of sea turtles, so he named them Las Tortugas. Sir Francis Drake made a similar observation when he arrived in 1586, remarking that the island was edible and had an abundance of turtles for his crew to tuck into after years at sea. Overfishing nearly wiped turtles out completely, so they are now protected. There's even a specific turtle breeding farm that educates visitors on the importance of this marine animal. Number 4. The largest house in the Cayman Islands costs $59.5 million. Castillo Caribe is owned by software millionaire Jerry Beck and sits right on the beach. Inside, it has impossibly high ceilings, an extravagant dining room, a home cinema, a billiards room, and a man-made grotto for an atmospheric nighttime soak. The Cayman Islands is home to many extravagant homes and residences, but this is the biggest and most expensive by far. If you want to know more about the world's richest people, why not watch our video about the 10 richest widows in the world? Number 5. You need to be fairly rich to be allowed to live in the Cayman Islands. It's not just property prices that are keeping us mere mortals away. To gain citizenship and residence in the Cayman Islands, you need to be earning $120,000 a year without working locally. You also need to be willing to invest a further $500,000 in what we're not too sure, but it's completely non-negotiable. Number 6. It's actually easier to hide your money in a Swiss bank account than in the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands are only the second most significant tax haven in the world. The number 1 is actually Switzerland. There's much more jurisdiction involved in securing a Cayman Island fund, but it's the 4th safest tax haven in the world, so many think it's worth it. Regardless of how safe it's considered to be, 2 Cayman Island financial institutions were found guilty of hiding $130 million illegally in 2016. It's not clear what their punishments will be yet, but they'll no doubt be back up and running in no time to serve the good people of the Cayman Islands and their ill-gotten fortunes. Number 7. One of the Cayman Islands' most famous residents has become known for his very controversial investments. United States-born Kenneth Dart is the owner of both Dart Container Corporation and Dart Management, and worth approximately $6.6 billion. You couldn't exactly describe him as self-made, because he inherited the business from his father, but he's definitely taken it to some extremes. Dart Management is known as a vulture fund and has profited from both the 2012 Greek financial crisis and the 2001 Argentinian financial crisis. Dart is now known as enemy number one of Argentina for his dodgy dealings. Number 8. You can visit hell on the Cayman Islands. Thought to be heaven by many because of its beautiful beaches, you can actually visit an area called Hell while you're there. The attraction is a group of black limestone formations in Grand Cayman, and it has its own red-painted post office with "Welcome to Hell" written on it. The name originally stuck because the black stones made the area appear like what hell must look like, according to visitors. Caymanian society is actually quite religious though, so there are Bible quotes positioned in opportune places. Number 9. There are more registered businesses than people on the island. The Cayman Islands have a relatively small population of 56,000 people, but because of its lenient tax laws, there are 100,000 businesses that call the Cayman Islands their home. Cayman's status as a financial center means that there are plenty of employment opportunities for accountants and lawyers, so it's not all shady business people trying to relax on the beach. Number 10. The islands are still ruled by the Queen, and they absolutely love it. The monarch of the Cayman Islands is Queen Elizabeth II, who also chooses a governor to look after the islands and oversee the government there. Like a lot of Commonwealth nations that are geographically separate from the UK, their love of all things British is much more intense. Citizens celebrate the Queen's birthday every year with a military march and an afternoon tea. Number 11. The islands have experienced the most hurricane strikes in history. One of the most recent examples was Hurricane Ivan, which had a disastrous impact on the country in 2004. The floods that were caused nearly split the island in two. Despite the fact that many of the buildings have been built to withstand hurricane-level gales, 85% of the island's buildings were destroyed, and 2 people were killed. Thanks to the island's vast wealth, though, they were able to rebuild entirely within 2 years. Number 12. The winner of Miss Cayman Islands also wins a 3-year education scholarship. Winning Miss Cayman Islands doesn't just mean you get to travel the world and model swimsuits. The lucky winner also gets to have her bachelor's degree, or 3 years of education at any other level, all paid for. The most recent winner, Monique Brooks, used her scholarship to gain a master's degree in hospitality and tourism. Number 13. A bus driver was airlifted to the Cayman Islands for life-saving heart surgery in 2016. Bus driver Tyron Coleman received treatment in Belize and Mexico for his heart blockage, but could only be saved when he arrived at Health City in the Cayman Islands. The 10-hour operation cleared the blockage in his heart, ended his chest pains, and lowered his risk of cardiac arrest. All healthcare in the Cayman Islands is private, and they were the first country in the world to make health insurance obligatory for all citizens by law. Number 14. If you wreck your Lamborghini on a road in the Cayman Islands, you have to tow it yourself. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service do not tow crashed cars because they don't view it as their responsibility unless the car is considered to be evidence in a serious incident. Removing recklessly driven supercars is left to the no doubt wealthy owner, and if the Department of Environment and Health have to tow it anyway, it will be done at the owner's expense. There must be a lot of Ferrari debris littering the highways. Number 15. There's still a lot of crime in the Caymans, despite the population being small. Theft and burglary are the most common crimes in the Cayman Islands, in part because there are so many expensive houses to break into. Violent crime is much lower, and confusingly, there were 26 incidents of insulting the modesty of a woman in 2016. One of the most recent shakeups in Cayman law enforcement concerns child abuse. Earlier in 2017, 3 UK child abuse investigators were enlisted to come to the islands and review their investigations because they were considered grossly incompetent. Known for its tax haven status and its streets being paved with proverbial gold, there's much more to this group of islands than meets the eye. It's a scuba diving paradise, has gorgeous scenery, and is more British than Britain. Many of the island's residents are big bankers and business owners, but you don't have to be a billionaire to pay the island a visit and see the turtles for yourself. If you could jet off to the stunning Cayman Islands and put all of your money in one of their tax-free bank accounts, what would be your first priority? Buying a Ferrari and wrecking it, being sure to pay for it to be towed away yourself, or drawing up the plans for your mega mansion on the beach? Oh, you're still here? Well, here's another fact about the Cayman Islands that you might not be aware of. There are no casinos on the Cayman Islands. You would think that an island full of rich people would have a few casinos, but that's not the case. Gambling is illegal in the offshore territory, so you'll have to get your fix somewhere else. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.